Here's trafficker Elon Musk, who sells pornographic access and personal access to your intellectual property and even your point of view. Well, maybe not you, but mine and other people. This is him explaining how he's a trafficker and about his interactions with billionaires, other billionaires, and world leaders who have problems with their perversions.
A massive disconnect between the purpose I feel in my work and the intense, often chaotic energy I feel inside my own heart and mind. It's a deeply personal struggle. For years, I've wrestled with this duality. On one hand, there's this immense, undeniable drive to build, to create, to push humanity forward. But on the other hand, there's this constant internal battle with my own impulses, ambitions, and desires that often feel distracting or even destructive. I remember looking at schematics or solving complex engineering problems.
Right.
And this incredible sense of clarity and
it's all just so complex.
And moments later, I'd be wrestling with a wave of personal ambition, ego, or worldly desire that felt completely at odds with any higher calling I might have. This conflict created a kind of spiritual exhaustion. I kept asking myself how I could be entrusted with such massive responsibilities and visions while feeling so fundamentally flawed on the inside.
Jeez.
It felt like a contradiction that I just couldn't solve with logic or first principles thinking. I started noticing this pattern everywhere. I'd read about historical figures who accomplished incredible things, only to discover they were plagued by intense personal battles. It seemed the greater the calling, the more intense the internal war. This wasn't a comfort, it just deepened the mystery for me. The immense pressures of my work only amplified this feeling. When you're running companies like Tesla and SpaceX, the ambition required is enormous. The vision to get humanity to Mars with the Starship program requires a level of drive that borders on obsession, a kind of insatiable hunger for progress. But that same hunger, that same intense energy that fuels innovation can feel like a spiritual liability.
Right, because it's so important to get humanity to Mars. That's what we should all be concerned with. That's what we should be spending billions of resources on, is getting people to Mars, getting humanity to Mars, to a planet that's not habitable. That's the big plan. That's the most important thing here.
It's a powerful engine, but it doesn't always feel like it's pointed in the right direction.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would way prefer being on Earth to Mars. There's no reason for me to go to Mars.
Direction. It can easily become a lust for achievement, for validation, for control. I had countless conversations with people, leaders in their own field.
Bro, you can go to Mars.
Who quietly admitted to the same thing. They felt this profound sense of purpose in their work, but were privately exhausted by the constant fight against their own powerful, sometimes selfish desires. We were all asking the same question. What is the point of being given a great work to do if you're also given an internal nature that constantly threatens to undermine it?
So what he's saying is that he was just given this great calling of putting humanity on Mars, on a planet where you're just not going to have the same resources or anything, okay? He's just plagued with this great calling that God gave him to put people on a planet that God didn't put them on to begin with, while he's simultaneously plagued with thoughts of being, a pedophile or whatever he's struggling with here, whatever his problems with or desires. Anyways, he apparently has some sick, twisted desires he's admitting to right here while he's pointing at his rockets. And he's talking about that he knows all of these other special people and that they have problems being perverts too, that they're having problems with that they have some weird, sick fetishes or sick desires that they don't have a handle on, and they just don't understand why they're just such gifted people. They're just such blessed and gifted people with just, so much goodness to give to the world, and they've just done such great things. All these great things that you've done, neurolinking monkeys and people and putting cameras in our eyes and selling people and being a part of this surveillance crisis, committing genocide against entire populations. You're just so plagued with your calling of doing great works, but then you're simultaneously struggling with being a pervert. And you know that something is wrong, something so wrong that you and your buddies even talk about how you're perverts and how you're struggling with it. Okay. Which is how you end up being able to sell access and, surveillance footage to strangers of women, who are changing their babies' diapers and raising their kids or whatever it is.
To build a cathedral with broken tools. I just couldn't reconcile the two things in my mind. I found myself becoming more and more aware of my own flaws, my own impatience, my own ego. The more I tried to focus on a higher purpose, the more these things seemed to scream for my attention. It was a frustrating.
And I just want to say, this dude has never focused on a higher anything in his whole life, okay, other than rockets. So get the fuck out of here, dude. You're not going to just suddenly try to cover up the fact that you're a douchebag. If you're talking about the chosen ones and you're trying to say that the billionaire losers and fucking sex offenders that you talk to on a regular basis are chosen ones, if you're trying to say that the kings and presidents that you sell video access to are chosen ones, that's fucking laughable. That's adorable that you're wearing a cross pendant and looking at the sky, or you're pointing to the sky there like this is supposed to be some spiritual thing. Everyone who feeds into this video is fucking retarded. And if you guys can't figure it out for yourself, I don't know. I'm just going to have to end this video here. This is one of the most wretched things that I've ever seen anyone do, is that they would be that big of a sex offender and that much of a fucking criminal. And that my whole fucking YouTube feed is constantly just flooded with this bitch. And you guys fucking talk about him on fucking TV all the fucking time. You let him walk up into your fucking White House. You let him fucking delete shit out of your fucking databases. What if he was deleting the proof that one of your fucking relatives even fucking existed, who he got rid of? What if he was deleting proof of that you ever fucking existed? You don't know what he was deleting in there. They fucking went in and deleted a bunch of shit. They're a bunch of fucking weirdos. Anyways, I'm getting the fuck off of here. Fuck this dude.